Hey, we back,
Hello,
baby. Let's go.
welcome back to the what are we called again? Hitonasu
Hitonasu.
Podcast,
Hey
the
yo,
best cafe podcast
out there, bro.
wherever we are.
Out there, bro. And
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
shit. Hopefully everyone's been doing well today. A lot of things happened in the past few weeks as well, and can't wait to
Hmm.
divulge into what happened so far. But like, welcome back to another episode of Hitanachu, the Night Corner. We're back with some
Corner
we're
baby.
back with some
Oh, you
stuff
know it's gonna
today.
be some dark,
Yes, it's gonna be
heavy
some
stuff.
dark, heavy stuff, and like getting back to our original, what's it called, stuff like folk tales and whatnot, urban legends, and we're gonna get more into it. But for now, like, shit, I've been longing to do this podcast for a long time. A lot of things happen behind the scenes, but I'm gonna get right into like, okay, so like, we had what's it called? I had what's it called? Assignments and everything coming over into my head, and for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm being challenged in my final year in this country where I reside, and it's pretty daunting right now because the studies have gone up straight away. Because like every year, I found studies a bit easy, but so far right now it's been pretty difficult now. So it's been it's been going back and forth with my studies with the what's it called, my close friends out there as well. We've been studying a lot, and then in the back of my mind, I was like, "Hey, Pes, I think you share the same feeling as me. I don't know if you watched. Yeah, you did actually. When it comes to horror movies, guys, I don't know. I just wanted to say this out there. I haven't watched one horror movie, and the last horror movie I've watched was with Pes. And I don't know what's been going on, so I think I need to get that back, and preferably for the next like the next episodes coming up, I would love to do a movie review. And my shout out to my brother, he did ask me this one question. He's like, you should talk about Smile. I'm like, hey yo, I gotta talk to Pest first and then talk and see how he thinks about Smile and whatnot. But yeah, those are some of the stuff that have been happening in my week so far, and like work and whatnot has been taking over my a lot of my times as well as some good things been happening in my life as well, which is so far the best aspects of my life. And I'll let Pest tell his part on what he did for this week, because it's been a pretty amazing week for us too, as for our personal growth and whatnot. So Pest, take it away. I love you. Sheesh.
Did you know, like, if a nerve pops up like on your bicep, you're kind of like valid, you know? That's kind of like your validation or like verification
That
of
you are
like working
swole.
out. Yeah, yeah, I think that's like a thing if I remember correctly.
So you trying to tell me indirectly that you've been swole.
No, I mean like I can see it, but it's not popping up, so I think like I'm making progress
I mean,
maybe.
training is a journey, right? It's like your Jinwoo, or forgot his
You know
name.
what? Let's just forget his name right now. Like I'm not in that solo leveling shit
Solo leveling
anymore.
shit, right? Alright.
Uh,
But how's your
I'm
week
into
been, bro?
duo leveling. How's my week? What day is it? This is Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
What's been happening this week? There's just a lot of work, I guess, and I've been kind of going out, embracing the extrovert in my personality, kind of.
Kind of. I
But
would still say you're an introvert, honestly.
I would say I'm a little bit proud of myself of coming out more recently, but at the same time, I'm kind of like taken aback by myself because of how much I was going out at the same time. But a lot of things happened, and one of the biggest things that happened, which was yesterday during Friday. I'm not sure. Should I talk about this? I should,
You
maybe.
should. You should.
Okay, so basically, if you guys been around, you probably know about my brand called Vibe. It's a clothing line. It's a streetwear, exclusive clothing line, that is only exclusive and where we reside. And I'm just gonna like talk to you. I'm not gonna like go into the business side of things, but more to like my personal growth kind of stuff because you know how Hitonasu is, right? So it's so basically I got invited to talk, or basically I was interviewed in a very, I would say like, would you say it's like kind of like a commercial? Like it's kind of
Uh,
like a podcast. They did have they. I was a vibe was invited into a podcast, and apparently it was by one of the biggest media
and event
organizations here,
organizations out there.
yeah, in this country. And for the first time, there was a lot of people, who officially now saw me live being interviewed, and it was such a weird experience. Like a lot of people were like congratulating me and stuff, and to me, it just felt like I don't know. Like I didn't, I was excited, but at the same time, I was like, do I really deserve this, or you know? So it was a lot of overwhelming punches that I was feeling at the moment. So it was definitely great, but at the same time, I was like, I'm happy. There's just like a small but of like how I'm feeling towards it. But overall, it was such a amazing thing, and I don't think I'm like saying enough right now, but it was amazing. I brought Moment here as my plus one. Like they didn't actually ask. They only like asked me, but like I know that I couldn't have done this with all the people that supported me, and the one who supported me from the start was like Fahad here, and that's why I wanted him to be my plus one, and we kind of killed it, you know.
I
Maybe,
mean, everyone was
you know.
like coming over me for my bandana, so that was the highlight of my day. I was just plus one, and everyone's like, "Hey,
Yeah,
yo, bandana
throughout the
boy."
whole I
Sheesh.
like throughout the whole live session, everyone was just like, "Hey, who's that bandana guy?" I was like, "Oh my god,
Oh
these guys!"
god, they
But
were.
I was very, yeah, I was very excited. I was very happy that a lot of the people we know,
Yeah,
came by and supported us during the live. But yeah, that was like a weird experience because it's usually us that invites people to a podcast,
facts.
and or like to be invited without asking is just especially to a very big organization like that. It's just like it's still overwhelming. Like it hasn't sunk in. I don't think it'll ever sink in, but yeah,
It
that
was
was
definitely a
pretty fun.
surreal experience for the both of us, and
Mm.
I'm glad that we use this momentum for our personal growth as well. And Pes kind of did the honorable thing right here to bring me as a plus one and plugged Hitonasu for a second. So I'm kind of
Yes,
I'm,
sir.
I'm kind of excited for that. But yeah, like
Yes, sir.
honestly, our week has been amazing and like a lot of love out there in the air. And we'd like to thank everybody out there so much for everything that they've done for us, for Hitonasu, for Vibe. Like it's been monumental of support. Now, yes, I know it's the night corner time. A lot of
Night
stuff.
court time,
Nice.
baby.
The introductions has been really good, but now I think it's time that we get into the brass tacks of things. All right. And today, oof,
We're gonna take you back for a little bit of a time travel a little back,
yes,
because we
sir.
got something very big for you, and we're going a little bit out of our range, because for we're gonna be talking about folktales, but before we were going with Malaysia and Indonesia. For
Mm-hmm.
today's episode, today's session, we're gonna go way further into Europe and see what they have, and we're gonna be, well, would you call it debunking? Well, technically adventuring and exploring those in Europe, and specifically in Italy, about folk tales that they have
Yes,
there,
sir.
and we're here for it. We're here for it. The boys are here for it.
Yes, the detectives are about to see what they get themselves into, and we're going way back in time, as Pes said. We're going to the 1500s to 1577
Mhm.
with our first folktale of today coming from Italy, and it's
So,
called the Benevento Witches. You can take it away, Pes.
all right, let's My God. All right, first one. Let's just jump into it, right? All right, here we go. Let's start with the first one. The Benevento witches. Who are the Benevento witches? What is Benevento, and what are witches? You probably know what a witch is. So let's start off. A legendary walnut tree that stood on the banks of the Sabato River in Benevento is said to be the place where witches from across Europe came
Hmm.
together, and where the Romans and later the Lombards may have practiced pagan rituals inspired by the Egyptian goddess Isis. Now, so apparently Benevento is a place, it's an actual place in southern Italy, and I've been wanting to do like, you know, something about this because I do have a friend from Italy and I just kind of want to,
I
you
figured.
know, yeah, and like I wanted to go there and kind of like explore what they have because, with folk tales, it's not just here in Southeast Asia. There's like a lot of things happening in the west and the north and the south and everywhere. So, all right, let's continue. Now,
Wait, wait, wait.
legends of oh, you want to take? You have a take?
So do you have? Did you? What's it called? So I was so confused because I did not know the Lombards, pagan rituals and Egyptian goddess Isis. Do you know who the Egyptian goddess Isis is? I think I know the whole
Uh,
gist of the story now. Oh,
yeah, Egyptian goddess Isis is basically, I forgot the whole thing,
she's a
but she
magical
was like,
healer and mourner and a
yeah,
mother
yeah,
and a
yeah, yeah,
wife.
yeah, yeah. It's like basically the witches are, like they said, inspired by the Egyptian
They
goddess, and
have the
so
ability to create and destroy life with
yes,
what?
sir.
Mere words. Alright, that was a pretty interesting take. Continue on.
If you can actually, see the picture, it's basically like one big tree, and then a lot of like witches and wizards just come like gather together, and we're gonna have more informations while continuing the story. Here we go. Legends of unusual events in the medieval town of Benevento date right back to its origins as a Samnite city in the 4th to 6th century BC. Originally called Meleventum, the Romans changed the name to Beneventum when they took power in the 3rd century BC. They believed that Meleventum was an ill omen or suggested that bad things happen in the town, and so they modified it to include Bene, which means good. For some time under Roman rule, the Egyptian goddess Isis was worshipped in Benevento, and Emperor Domitian built a temple for her here, which is in Benevento, in 88 to 89 AD. At the beginning of the 20th century, archaeological excavations uncovered many fascinating artifacts from this temple, such as statues of priestesses and baboons. Today, in the city center, there is an obelisk dedicated to Isis with hieroglyphic inscriptions that describe her as the Lady of the Stars, of the heavens, of the earth, and of the underground, which is pretty kind of sick. I mean, like, okay, would you want a statue? Like, would you want people to make a statue of you? Like, you know,
I mean, maybe, yeah, sure. Cristiano Ronaldo has a statue, right? So,
Rocky
uh,
Balboa had a statue.
yeah, in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. I
Yeah,
got this wrong. Probably Philadelphia,
yeah, yeah.
but yeah, I would definitely love a statue for me. Like,
But what would it signify? Like,
it would
why would
signify
someone make a
me.
statue?
What else would it need to signify?
Yeah, but like, you know, what do you like?
What have I
What do you want to
done?
focus on? Yeah, what do you focus on? Like, what would you want people to know you about? As.
Like probably the seventh Hokage.
All right, never mind. I regret asking you.
Yeah, you better. What would
Anyways,
it signify for you? Like, you
anyways,
couldn't ask this
anyways.
question and then.
What
What
do you
about
mean?
you? What about
I was
you?
asking you. I was asking you. I
Oh,
didn't.
I thought it was a two-way street. Okay, continue. Lamau.
If I were to make a statue,
Yes,
I mean,
please. I
if
would love to
people were
hear
to
your
make a
answer.
statue,
Yeah.
I would just like, like, well, not like Hamilton. but probably, a great storyteller. Okay, I don't think they would probably make a statue out of Dr. Seuss,
Maybe they
but
could actually.
maybe if, I
Hmm.
could make a good storytelling persona to a point where they just like, oh my gosh, like,
Oh my god, he was
we
a
need
great
we need
writer of
a
our generation.
we need a statue of like Pessy. Like, I don't know what it's for, but
Well,
like I wonder like what the text is. There was just like an artist, maybe clothing line, and then like great storyteller.
oh yeah,
Like
true,
not
true,
really,
true, true.
not really, not a lot, but
Yeah.
it's just like bullet points. It's like why this statue needed to be done. Like,
Mm-hmm.
All right, continuing. The legend of Benevento's witches is rooted in the Langobard domination. According to the legend, the Langobard soldiers used to hang goat or snake skins from the walnut tree, and after impaling them with spears, ate them in hopes of acquiring the power of the animal. These rituals lasted several days, and Langobards used to light bonfires at night and revel with wine, women, and dancing. Bishop Barbatus allegedly uprooted this tree in the 7th century as he sought to repress non-Christian cults. That's kind of so they kind of like, they kind of like stitched this with like religious aspects. And I wonder how like witches and wizards, do you think they use like the same kind of verses, or do they just like make up their
Back
own
when I
rituals?
studied about witches and whatnot, they were
Hmm.
not definitely linked to religious aspect because they have their own rituals with
Yeah.
a lot of blood cuts from animals and whatnot, like using chickens, using goats as a form of sacrifice.
Hmm.
But my knowledge has been degraded because this has been in the 1500s, and I never heard
Yeah.
about the Beneventos, which is so. For me, this is the first time. Pretty interesting aspect as how they used to hang goat or snake skins from a walnut tree, and it's very specific. It's just a walnut tree and they impaled them with spears, like, and they hoped that they acquired the power of the animal. Like, it's pretty weird, like. So yeah, like,
So these guys are just furries, low key,
probably I think they're just furries, but
maybe.
I don't know, but like the way they did the rituals is kind of interesting. I would like to know
Right.
more.
I'm still confused about that. Like you study about rituals, right? So basically, I know that, blood kind of like attracts those kind of things. But at the same time, you know how they have spells and all that. Do you think that comes with a lot of manifestation, or like they just know what they say would like summon something?
mm, so we spoke about manifestations a lot, and I don't think I'll get into it because it's like a 2-hour thing, but like,
Yeah, it's
when
just
it
like
comes
a
to
yes and
rituals, there
no.
are four kinds, which is magic, action, religious action,
Yeah.
substantive or constitutive ritual. Oh, actually five, sorry. And facet, I think facetive ritual. And its ritual is basically
Festive.
forming out a rite of passage in a constitutive ritual format. And yeah, when it comes to manifestations, you can look at magic actions or religious actions as well, which is
Mhm.
too deep for us to get into. But there are the five types, and you can clearly point out your hands on what rituals you think are manifestation or
Right.
whatnot. But like, I believe, and I know you believe as well, that there are some form of manifestations throughout.
Of course, like, if you want to make a deal with the devil and then you just like you're half-assing into believing in it, it's like the devil's not gonna commit to you. It's like you don't believe in me enough, so I'm not gonna help you. Like maybe something like that. Do you think, okay, so if like rituals can be human made, do you think we can like make our own? Like, let's just say like I want a donut shop or like make Hitonasu a cafe. Do you think like
Oh, you
we
can do
can
a
write down
ritual.
some stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, like make some stuff up to make it true.
mean, there are stuff like that that you can put into manifestations as well.
Like you write something like with on like old paper or something, and then like you manifest it. Then tomorrow we find it like somehow we have a shop open.
I don't think so, but there are forms to
No,
do that.
no. You know what? I'll keep to my prayers.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah,
We
the
keep to
right
our
way, the
praise.
right way.
We do it the right way. But yeah,
All right, you can take off with the the last one. I think the last
it is the
two,
last one.
isn't it?
But
It's the last one.
continuing after Pest, legends subsequently developed around the tree worshipping traditions in Benevento, associating them with the devil. A walnut tree was talked about in poems and books. These told stories of witches and wizards flying to Benevento, gathering and dancing under the tree for their sabbats, casting evil spells, and then flying off again. A link was formed between the Italian word for walnut, nos, and the Latin for harm,
Noche.
nocere.
It's noche, and the Latin for harm is noxa.
Noxa.
Apparently, yeah.
Alright.
Apparently,
I mean, you have the
Latin
Italian friend, so let's go. Noce
weird.
and the Latin word noce. Wow, but that's a pretty good folktale. Mm, I just need to search up one thing real quick, real quick, real quick, real quick. What is Sabbats again?
Don't worry about it. Isn't it like rituals or like there's
No, man.
huh? Ugh.
Oh, a
What is it?
supposed midnight meeting held by witches.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yes,
kind of like a gathering.
it does make sense. It does make sense. So, the Benevento witches, not one of the scariest folktales, but a very old folktale with what they use,
Yeah.
their form of rituals and their specific, um, the specific ritual that they associate themselves with is to take place with a walnut tree. And
Hmm.
it's actually been spoken about in poems and books, and hopefully I'll find some more research on it and find out more about these poems and books, and we can talk more
Would you
maybe.
join them? Would
Nah,
you join them?
I actually had an invitation once to join a cult back in Canada.
No, but
uh
like the Benevento gang, you know?
would you
Do you think they
would
have
you
like
join the Benevento gang?
do you think they have like fruit baskets or like everyone barbecues?
I think there were form barbecues that day, but not the
I
traditional
mean,
format.
it's like a gathering, it's like a Harry Potter gathering,
We're
like
like
everyone has
impaling.
their own kind of like spells and like, they probably have frog chocolate or something. Yeah, I would
Frog chocolate. That took me.
yeah.
That took a pause for me. I'm like, oh shit, that is Harry Potter. Shit. Brain dead. Brain
Wow.
dead. Brain dead. Plastic fan. We got him,
But
boys.
yeah, honestly, I would just be curious if they were just like there to dance and then like cast evil spells and then just like fly off with their brooms. But it would definitely be a sight because they're just like gathering, circling this like big walnut tree, and then they just I don't know, do their stuff, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like it sounds festive, and I think I remember in Italy they do celebrate these things like specifically for witches and witch stories or wizards. That's kind of fun. It's like, the only wizardy festives you usually do are like Harry Potter events, like rip-off events,
Harry Potter
right?
rip-off events. What are you
Yeah,
saying,
but
fam?
but the fact that they have an actual like celebration, not celebration,
Let
but like,
me just double check
events for
this. Is
for like witches and wizards is like sounds fun.
it is fun. I would celebrate that, but
Do you think they have butterbeer?
no, they don't.
Dang. Really?
Why would
Maybe
why would
ale.
the Benevento witches have butterbeer? They probably have
Maybe
walnut beer, Pest.
maybe ale. That's what they have like in the olden days. Who knows?
I cannot find out if it's celebrated or not, but we'll keep it to that. But that was our tangent for the Benevento witches, and it's pretty good pretty good folktale, like our first folktale from Italy,
Yeah,
and
it was
it's
like an easy, well, not easy, but it's like a small ease into what we're gonna be talking about today.
yeah. But before we get into that, like shit, I had a horror experience just 4 weeks ago. It was very short, but I was going back home one time. Like this was like a month or 2 months ago. Um, and then I was doing my assignments late at 1 a.m. I
You're
remember.
really doing this to
Yeah,
me when it's
yeah,
like close to 1 a.m.
yeah.
Okay.
It's our
Yeah.
fault for filming it late, but like I gotta get back into this. So it's very short. I was doing my assignment at 1 a.m. and like my stomach was talking to me like, yo, bro, you gotta feed me, bro. I'm like, best say less. I got chicken in the oven. So I'm
No
like,
way, another kitchen ghost story.
yeah,
I
yeah,
swear,
yeah, yeah.
man.
I'm sorry, but it's very short, and I don't think I've said that story in the podcast. So if I did, could you just stop me, Pes, and we can continue? So I
Yeah, I'm
decided,
sure which one. There's been like four different kitchen ghosts.
but I don't
So
think I've
like
ever
I
said
gotta
a kitchen ghost story in the podcast. But if I did, I'm sorry. So I went back to the kitchen and I decided to grab, you know, my cold coffee that I
Mhm.
drank at 5 p.m. and I decided to put in the fridge. And then I heated up my chicken, but then I felt a gush of cold wind rush by
Oh,
me, and like everyone knows this about me, like I tend to see things as well, and like when a gush of cold wind passes by me, it was the same wind that apparently the ghost molested Pest that day as well when he said the story. But this was a bit sinister, and I was a bit scared because I usually switch off all the lights and my kitchen light was open. So I decided to go to the oven, take my chicken and rice, my coffee on my other hand, and then slowly walk backwards. But then something told my eyes to look forward from the window. So I
always
went.
the window.
Sorry about that. I couldn't explain this properly, but if Pes could help me visualize it. So in front of my window,
What
you
do you
can.
mean help you visualize it? I
you
don't
see,
even like you.
you
I don't
see
even
my
like
kitchen.
hearing you talking about this right now.
I'm sorry, but don't get scared. Don't get scared. Don't get scared. So outside my window. Okay, Pes, you can close your ears. So outside my window, I straight away saw something that scarred me for life, which was a fucking woman staring straight at me from a
It's
gated.
always a fucking woman
No, she was
staring
she
at
was a
you.
grandmother though. So
You're bad with them.
I ain't baddie with the ghost, bro. That's not
You
my. That's
are.
not me. That's haram, brother. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But that's not me. But I saw her stare at me, and I'm like, what's going on? Like my heart's palpitating straight away. But
Staring contest, bro.
yeah, I've seen
Damn.
this. I've seen this before, but something about her made me feel like my mother upstairs is not safe. So I decided to walk away, but I'll tell you firsthand, it was the first time I ever felt scared in my life after a long time
Like
because I
throwing
was,
hands with the
nah, I
ghost.
was interlocking my eyes with her for,
It's a grandma ghost, you know. You can like
it's a
she,
grandmother pass.
but maybe because she's a ghost, she's like faster. Like she can like sidestep, break your ankle, kind of move.
She probably could break my ankles, but like, yeah, I've been staring at her for 2 minutes straight and I decided to to dash out and keep. I didn't care if I closed the fridge or not. I
You
didn't.
didn't do a Michael Jordan dunk on her, like
I
nothing.
couldn't, bro. I'm pretty sure you would have if you stared at her right in the face. Because next time when you stay over, we're gonna go 2 a.m. outside my window and you can see her, and then you can live to tell the tale. But
No, it would be very unfair if I was like to taunt it when it was staring because it's rude to stare, and then I try to punch and then my hand goes through her body because I'm like, okay, you can scare the shit out of me, but then I can't throw hands with you. That's unfair.
but to me, in my eyes, it was an evil spirit, and I got out. And funnily
Of
enough,
course, it's evil. It's staring at you.
funnily enough, my mom, sorry, what's it called? So I went back to my room, did my assignments. I was not trying to think of it, but I never got to sleep. So, my mom and dad, we wake up for our morning prayers, right? So I decided to go down a bit late after I finished my morning prayers, and I told my mom, "Mom, I usually don't say this, but I'm scared. You should not look out the window." And she's like, "She's been there for a long time." Like, what? What are you telling me, mom? And she's like, "She's been there for a long time. Just ignore her." And I'm like, holy shit. my mom has seen this ghost apparently walking. Actually, I told her she was behind a gated cage door, and she's like, "Oh,
Oh, she
sometimes."
walks now. She
She,
doesn't
yeah,
elevate.
yeah. She sometimes she walks around. My mom notices it, but she decides not to give it any attention because it's been going around in our house oddly for some reason, and I've been getting
She's been
scared.
doing a walkathon.
Yeah, that's why I
Uh,
usually used to go 2 a.m. walks around my house just to get the fresh air and whatnot after doing assignments. But I stopped doing that ever since, and that was my short horror story before we continue to our a big
yeah,
folk
you
tale.
you probably need like all your tasbihs, all your
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
I will try my
uh
best not to make any jokes if
yeah,
that's on
your
me.
Juma drips,
All right.
and then like come out at 2 a.m.
All right. So we're gonna move on to our next folk tale of the day, and
Sir,
okay. So the folk tale of our last folk tale of today is Malocchio. How do you say it, Wes?
Malocchio, Il
Malocchio,
Malocchio.
the evil eye. And yeah, this article was back in 2020 on April 17th, and we're gonna start reading it. So, this article starts by saying, "Do you take 3 steps back when you see a black cat? Or have a rabbit's foot on your keychain for good luck?" What the? Every culture has superstitions they believe in, and so does ours. In Italian culture, the most common superstition is Il Malocchio, meaning an evil eye. Italians believe that if someone stares or glazes, inspired by jealousy or envying your good looks or your success, gives
I
you,
can't be outside.
yeah, gives you Malocchio. People believe that this way Italian curses you to have bad luck or misfortune. Think of how Nonna looks at someone who has wronged her. Ooh, okay, this is gonna be a very good story because I've read a lot about the evil eye, but not from the Italian context, so I can't wait to see what their rendition of the evil eye is, or if it's very similar to ours. And yeah, Pes, you can start it off the origin of Malocchio.
All right, continuing. The origin of Malocchio. There are traces of the evil eye superstition going back to the Mesopotamia, 5,000 years ago in the Sumerian region, being one of the first known oh my god, man,
Civilizations.
civilizations. People in this region engraved the earliest beliefs about the misfortune of the evil eye curse. There are writings and ancient books about the power of the evil eye, dating back to the classical era, a period of intertwined cultural history of two civilizations, ancient Greece and ancient Rome. Many poets and authors like Hesiod, Plato, Plutarch, Pliny the Elder wrote about the evil eye. Described by Pliny the Elder, some African enchanters had the power of fascination with the eyes and can even kill those on whom they fix their gaze. According to the writings about the enchantments of the evil eye in religious books like the Bible, the Quran, and the Jewish Talmud, this spell can kill plants, crops, and even can be the cause of people's death. Here are just some of the writings from these sacred books. Now, what I'm about to read are basically verses from, the sacred books. So this one is one of the verses from the Bible. Quote, I said to them, cast away each of you the detestable things of his eyes, and do not defile yourselves with the idols of Egypt. I am the Lord your God, which was in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 20, verse 7, if I if that is read correctly. And then in the Quran states, quote, say, I seek refuge with the Lord of the dawn, from the mischief of created things, from the mischief of darkness as it overspreads, from the mischief of those who practice secret arts, and from the mischief of the envious one as he practices envy. And that is from the Quran, chapter 113, verse 1 to 5. And now this is a quote from I think, one of the Sunnah, if
The Jewish
I'm
Talmud.
saying it right. Yeah. For one of the Talmud, yes, I'm very sorry. For one who dies of natural causes, 99 die of an evil eye. And that was from the Talmud Baba, Baba Metzia, 107b. Nowadays, this belief is passed through generations, transcending through time and
Mm.
cultural changes, and it is still popular in the modern era. Nasal is the name for the evil eye in Turkey. Malde Ojo. Is it Malde Oyo? Is it Malde Ojo? I'm like European and have this like thing
Mm-hmm.
they just pronounce J and Y. It's just like it's very hard for a Southeast Asian guy to read. We like it direct.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, in Central America and Mexico, Drishti in India, Zleoko in Poland, and as you can see, the magic behind the evil eye is embedded in almost every country and religion worldwide. Wow. This is like it's like a very heavy load. But this is like I think like in Evil Eye, there's always like, every story in each region and country, and I feel like, do you think like this can be generalized? This has been
This
generalized.
has been
I feel
already.
I feel so. And the fact that it's generalized means it's like renowned all over the world, and for it to be, maybe we'll encounter this again, but from a different region and see if there's like some differences. Probably not, but it's still like, focusing on the evil eye. Wow, this
Yeah.
is like really, like I can just like look at someone with envy and jealousy, and that in itself could manifest into a bad omen towards them from me. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's gonna, transcribe like bad luck to them just because, I like the way they look. Like, oh my gosh, like, Shah Rukh Khan is like very handsome.
And
So
very
if I ever got
successful.
yeah, so like if I ever get to meet him, I'll just like stare.
And the
Like,
evil eye will come into
yeah,
play.
you know what? Maybe there's a good thing why I'm an introvert and I don't like eye contact that much. So yeah, maybe I'm just like, you know what? I'll be on the good side, not stare into people's eyes that much.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's just continue. Fahad, take it away.
Alright, now we're gonna talk about the story. Now, everything surrounding us is energy. That's why the ancestors believed that you can be cursed simply by bad energy sent your way. Ancient belief is that a person's eyes are a window to the soul, and just an evil gaze with bad energy can cause someone misfortune and ill feeling. The belief about the power of Malocchio is not some supernatural power that chosen people can possess, but it's a power of every ordinary man that is very jealous or harbors a great amount of envy for another man's success, possession, or looks. That's why you won't hear from Italian that everything in their life is perfect. Even if it is, they don't want to attract unnecessary jealousy. If you have been casted as if you have been casted a Malocchio, you could experience severe headaches, nausea, even a loss of strength. The diagnosis of the Malocchio states that even if you have a strike of bad luck, you've been cursed. Lifting off this curse goes through few treatments performed by healer, or so it is a belief in the countries of the Mediterranean region. The healer performs a ritual to determine if you have been a victim of the evil eye spell. It usually involves a bowl of water and oil drops. If the oil and the water mix, you have been cursed. And if the oil stays on top of the water, you are clean. Also, Healers use milk and herbs to lift off the curse, accompanied with a sacred prayer to free the victim. People still use healing properties of the herbs like basil and rue, and in some countries, burning olive leaves, oh wow, release you from the evil eye causing misfortune. Okay, that was pretty hefty topic to get into, because when it comes to the story about the Malocchio, right? It's something that my mom told me a long time ago when it comes to evil eye in general. Like, do not get obsessive over how other people looks, about how they live their lives, about how they, what's it called? About how they dress, about how much money they make, because at the end of the day, you're gonna attract evil eye. I never knew what she meant when she said evil eye until I grew older and older and older, but
Yeah.
I didn't know there are healers that performs a ritual. Like, this is my first time, and I've studied rituals, but I never came across. I'm not studied rituals, but I've read about them.
They
And
only talk about the bad ones, so that's
yeah,
why. You know,
like apparently there's a healer that performs a ritual. Like,
of course there
if
is,
you're a
and they use
victim,
milk and herbs. You know, it's like
basil as well, bro. Like, I hate
yeah, yeah.
basil. Like, what the hell? And this is the most interesting part of my takeaway from all of this, by the way. In some countries, burning olive leaves release you from the evil eye, causing misfortune. Now that is,
Sounds like a lot of manifestation and convictions to me.
I mean, it is
I feel
for.
like this happens. You know, I feel like this happens
I
a
mean,
lot.
I with a lot of psychics out there as well. Like, it all comes down to your manifestation, convictions. But when it comes to rituals, right? So olive leaves, I mean, those both, for me, in our eyes, in both of our eyes, it goes down to convictions. And yeah, like, it's pretty weird. This is my first time reading this, and after this podcast, I'm definitely
Oh, he's
researching it.
gonna be in the olive rabbit
Yeah,
hole
yeah. I'll be my
until
olive
like
leaves
6
rabbit
a.m.
hole, and
I'm
I'll
just
be
gonna
text.
sleep and play
Uh,
Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know what's wrong with this guy.
I'm a text fast. Be like, yo, you wanna know more about the olive
Like,
leaves?
shut up,
And he's
man. I
like,
don't even like olives on pizza. Like, get out of my. Like,
alright.
go sleep.
I, you can take it away, Pass. That's a good
All right.
tangent.
But okay. I wanna add up a little bit. Now, it's kind of, how do you say this? Do you think you can so there's like an evil eye. Do you think there's the good eye? Like,
Uh,
if you look at somebody, instead of like being envy, you kind of like, you're proud of this person. Like, oh, you're so good looking. You're so, like, I'm proud of you. Like, I love you as creation of, life. Like, you're so, yeah, never mind. That's weird. It's like you only say someone's like ugly, and at one point you just admire someone for looking so good.
hmm.
You never really like appreciate, and it's almost like worshiping now, the fact that you're like,
It's
oh
like
my
you're
god, you're
kissing
so good
ass.
looking. Yeah, kissing ass, but like in the most sincere way possible. Not like, I want your money, so therefore you look good. You know?
Is there a way to kiss ass in the most sincere way possible?
Yeah, it's called the good eye. So try it sometimes.
But I'll do that to you. I'll always kiss your ass anyway. But yeah.
Yeah, but it won't be insincere because you've kissed ass before. Now it's just like,
So a good eye is
it's
for a
like,
person that does not kiss ass before,
yeah,
but
they just like
okay,
sincerely
I see.
admire a
I
person.
love this.
Not to a point of
Flip
worship,
this.
but to a point where it's like, it's giving out, like, the evil eye gives you bad energy, right? But then when
Yeah?
you're hype with your boys, you know that feeling where you get good energy. Like, do you think like, oh, life is great right now? So I don't know. Maybe that's there's a ripple effect into that. So who knows?
Okay, buddy. But yeah.
All right, continuing on now. How to protect yourself from Malocchio. As protection from the Malocchio, people use different amulets, pendants, or even hand gestures. Hand gestures. In Italy, you can see amulets shaped like horns, usually in red color, silver, or gold, called cornetti. The red cornetti, is it cornetti or cornet? You know what?
Cornetti.
Can be easily mistaken for chili pepper. There are cornetti hanging everywhere, on keychains, in cars, on windows, basically every place that people believe needs to be protected from the evil eye of jealous and envious people. Makes sense.
Makes
But
sense.
still, the best protection is if you have a talisman on yourself. Or as my grandmother would say, I mean this is the journalist say, grandmother would say, wear more shiny jewelry to catch the eye of evil and what? What? So to prevent yourself or protect yourself from Malocchio is to wear and purposely kind of like wear jewelry to get Malocchio, but instead of getting it directly to you, you're misdirecting it
The
to the
jewelry?
jewelry instead. That's weird.
That's smart.
That's weird. Like, don't wear jewelry so people don't look at you.
Yeah, it's legit just offsetting the two in the weird way possible, which I don't
Yeah,
understand.
it's kind of like if you don't want your Jordans to be stolen, like just wear Jordans that are very ugly. Like, bro, they're still Jordans.
Yeah.
Like, So,
Mhm.
continuing on, in parts of Italy, people wear pendants as a piece of jewelry made of stone, most common obsidian, coral, or onyx, decorated with silver, so it will absorb and fight off the bad energy caused by Malachio, protecting the person who wears it. Okay. Do you know anything about like crystals and like stones, like
Yeah,
energy?
yeah, my friend has.
We know some people who has that, but
Yeah, my friend has a crystal business and whatnot, and
mm-mm.
yeah, reading about it just it's another topic for another time because I do have
Yeah,
my
definitely.
own topics of concern with it. But like I've seen the way they talk about rocks and
Yeah.
minerals as well. It's pretty interesting in my opinion. Now I look at education as
Mhm.
something to learn new every single time. But yeah,
And they do look like chili peppers, not gonna lie.
not gonna lie.
But they're apparently horns,
Yeah.
not chili peppers. Alright, so a common belief is that if the decorations of the necklace fall off, it has been full of bad energy and should be replaced with a new one. As a tradition, the talismans against Malachio are gifted from older relatives to pregnant
Huh.
women and newborns. Religion advises using prayer to send back the bad energy to the
Mhm.
sender to stop it affecting you, reciting that you have Jesus and saints on your side.
Okay.
Wow. Or you can imagine a big mirror in front of you, warding you from the malicious intent of the Malagio and sending it back to the sender. Wow. That's very so like if it falls off, like in any circumstances, like even if it's just like accidental, coincidental,
Mhm.
if it just falls off, it means like it's full of bad energy. What if it breaks though? Does the bad energy like spread or is it like it also breaks? Like I don't, you
Yeah,
know,
I don't think I can answer that
what
because
are the what are the specifics here?
yeah, Italian folklore is a new realm for me. I
I
haven't done
mean,
any
this is just
studies.
like the their evil eye kind
Mm-hmm.
of version of Italy. Some regions probably don't have the horn thing or like the chili pepper thing. They might have like I don't know, like a waku waku
And
statue or something.
the best part of this takeaway for me was what the grandmother would say to her, the journalist, or he or she, wear more shiny jewelry to catch the eye of the evil intended
Yeah,
people.
that was
Hey
very
man, if you want to fight, we just go on them straightforward. Like it's not like we're gonna get cursed or anything. Like, what if they don't look at our jewelry and we're too good looking for the jewelry itself? Like, it's just so weird to read that statement because I thought it was gonna end
jewelry
nicely.
is basically like the goalkeeper, you know? It's like, oh, you're looking at their eyes, so when you give that energy, like it's basically a barrier now. It's like, oh, I'll absorb it to this
True,
jewelry.
true, true.
But that's still weird. Like, don't don't. Well, if you're too good looking, then
Yeah, which is you,
you
Pet.
can't. Yeah, you can't really
Do anything about it,
do anything about it.
right?
You're just like you're good looking, but then at the same time, it's kind of like unfair now.
Yeah,
What
because
if
you're too good
okay,
looking.
you know what? You know what? What if like someone really good looking looks into someone who looks mediocre and kind of like gives the good eye, do you think they
I
would
still don't
look
think
more
a good eye actually exists. I've just done some.
okay? But then why do the evil eye exist? Like, why do people believe it so much, and to the point where the good eye seems more fantasy?
You have to describe good eye in a very good contextual meaning, because
Good eye is basically just the opposition of the evil eye.
which is
You know,
basically what? Because evil eye has a lot of definitions, and you've read them already
evil eye is
from the
basically
Quran, from the.
transporting energy, right? And people who practice these things, right? Who people with like a lot of convictions and manifestations, like when they stare into, when they stare into someone, they're so good
Ooh,
looking, like
I
they
can't
want
talk about
jealousy.
this. Talks about the jinns and everything, but
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Okay,
we can talk
imagine
about
that same
this.
feeling. No, 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 no. Imagine that same feeling,
I'm not
yeah?
gonna answer, but yeah.
Imagine that same feeling, but replace it with positivity. That's the good eye.
That's called positive affirmation. You know, when you're with your
Yeah.
homies having fun,
So
life is
so
good.
basically, if you do that like so much to that one person, like
One
the same
person.
energy you're giving when you're doing like the
Hmm.
evil eye, you do the good eye the same with the same energy. And it's like, do you think that person would just like have good luck?
No.
No?
I mean,
But then the
what do you
evil
think?
eye
What do you think though?
but
Like,
then the evil eye would
what?
give someone bad luck.
Yeah, as per the tradition and what it states, right?
So just because the good eye isn't a tradition, it won't happen.
So for you, the good eye actually exists.
I'm just saying, like, it's a concept. Mama, please.
I'm trying to understand what you're trying to say.
It's a theory. I'm making a theory. What are
Oh,
you
okay.
like, bro? What are we doing right now?
So good eye. I've been trying to search it, but you're making it
Don't
seem.
search it. Oh my god.
But yeah, maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong, but like, I still don't think the good eye is like a theory, because the way you describe it is positive affirmation. And yeah,
Yeah, and the evil eye is basically a negative affirmation.
there's no such thing as negative affirmation. But yeah, you're right. You're right, maybe. But
You're
it's just a
affirming
the.
negativity towards a person, right? That's what it is.
Then yeah, but like, how would you practice again? How would you practice good eye
No,
again?
it would not look like a practice. I mean, if you want to practice, you know,
So you
like
have
you look so
good
good
today,
today. You smell very,
very good.
very good.
But I'm
You're
not
so
kissing your
excellent.
ass,
You know,
right?
exactly.
That's
I'm
it.
not kissing your ass. I just appreciate you. I
Oh,
love you for the creation of this existence called life. I appreciate you for being born. I love you so
uh
much.
huh.
You know? Like you would suddenly have this like
Oh,
I
so
mean
like
like
I'm getting good luck after you said all that, or you're getting good luck.
or yeah, I mean just like the evil
Yes.
eye.
So
There's
the.
probably like the same amount of manifestation and convictions that like, oh, like
So
now that you said that to me, I feel good. I feel like I have good luck now for the day. Like I can keep going, you know?
oh, you're right. Actually, with the good evil eye, you don't need any healers or any rituals
Not good evil.
to a
Yeah.
good eye to
Yeah,
get
good
that
eye.
back. That's pretty
Yeah.
good. That's a good theory.
So technically you can be a healer if you have the good eye.
You're just a mage straight away. You're a healer. I like it. I like it. I like it. Nice.
Alright, there you go. How to debunk the good eye.
Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty good theory. I have nothing else to say about this. Pretty standard evil eye stuff. But
But
yeah.
there was the chili pepper thing and the jewelry was
Mhm.
very like specific to,
Mhm. But yeah, coming back to the folktale, the summary. Even though there are things and feelings that we can't explain, we
Mhm.
simply know that they exist.
Mhm.
So believing in Malocchio or not, you unconsciously you can feel someone's gaze over you, and it's up to you if you choose to wear some kind of talisman, repeat some prayer, or ward yourself with an imaginary mirror, or simply believe that by not giving power to the evil eye, the curse can't get to you. And there you have it. These are our two folk tales for today, my
There you have it.
boys. My boys, my
The
ladies and gentlemen.
Benevento witches and the Il Malocchio. There you go.
Um,
Very sorry if we butchered
Yeah, I was just about to say it. Like,
pronunciations and stuff.
on behalf of me and Pez, like, please
Yeah,
forgive
we're
us if we
not
weren't able to like pronounce it really well or whatnot.
we're
Because I
not
messed up.
Italian.
I messed up Malocchio so many times, or I'll just find out from my also Italian friends how it's pronounced as well. So next time I can say it better. But yeah, like these are two interesting folk tales and or urban legends. I
Definitely
really,
for start for our far adventures into the folk tales.
yeah, I really liked it. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was like I started researching a bit more on.
Mhm.
I try to remember the Egyptian god Isis as well. That was pretty interesting to me because like I studied
Yeah.
about Egyptian gods as well, and pretty nice,
Mhm.
pretty nice. I love it. I love it. But okay, 53 minutes on the clock. Pez, do you have anything at the end to add before I stop?
Um, if you're here, if you're listening to this right now and you made it to the end of the session, I love you and
Oh,
thank you
you
so
stole my
much
line again.
for being here. Spending your time with us. Wasting 50 minutes of your life with
Mm-hmm.
us. Because like we really love that. We really love wasting your time a lot, and we appreciate it. So thank you. And if you feel like you've wasted time, that's on you. But like we love it.
Okay.
I love it.
Alright,
Thank you.
buddy. Alright. But yeah, thank you so much for everybody. Legit, you guys like catapulted Hitonasu to areas that I did not expect we could reach, and like thank you to Pest for shouting us out like last week in his own kind of thing. It was pretty good. It was pretty amazing. Surreal as well that I was part of it. And yeah, like everything has been going up in my direction as well, including Pest. So like it's been pretty good and I'm pretty happy on where Hitonasu is and whatnot. So coming back, we're gonna come back with more folk tales with a lot of stuff. And like always remember guys, we're in YouTube, and to my audio listeners, thank you for listening to us as well. It really means a lot. And for YouTube, if you could like and subscribe, that would mean a lot to me. And comment your opinions as well, guys. Today we did an
Yeah.
Italian folktale, so next time
Educate us,
educate
please.
us please, because next time whichever topic you suggest, we might consider doing it. So yeah, thank you so much for staying with us throughout this episode. It really means a lot, and I'm not going to take much of your time. So in 3, 2, 1, stay
Stay goated.
goated. See you guys. Love you, love you, love you. Bye bye.